The meeting of the Revere Zoning Board of Appeals will now come to order. Roll call.
Mr. Bacilli? Present. Mr. Corrin? Present. Mr. D'Angelo? Present. Mr. Mazzoni? Present. Mr. Colometto? Present. Mr. Tucker?
Present. Quorum
is present. First application before the board is application A1401. This is the application of the 117-119 Centennial Avenue LLC, 98 Charger Street, Revere, requesting a parking variance to enable the appellant to convert a single-family dwelling to a two-family dwelling on Lot B, formerly Lot 3, at 117-119 Centennial Avenue in Revere.
Good evening. Could you state your name and address for the record?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Joseph Catone, 1 Sprague Street, Revere, representing the applicant, 117-119 Centennial Avenue LLC, and Shapino, who is the manager and member of the LLC, is here with me. We are bringing an application to convert the status of property at 117 Centennial Ave from a single family to a two-family. The application requires that we send a conversion, but we are really before you for us to validate a two-family home that has been built and existed as such since the time it was first constructed. The variance required is for parking. There is no parking at this site. This is not a situation where the applicant or any previous owner cut out an illegal apartment. This was built, as I said, as a two-family. The structure is such where the second floor is a separate and distinct apartment from the first floor. Although there was a common entrance, there is an interior hallway that leads separately to both units. All other requirements for the validation of the unit are in place. There are exits and entrances separately for each. There are separate utilities. There are all appliances and there is a third floor that had been used in the past illegally. We are removing any chance of that being used again. Those rooms will be adjacent to the second floor, used only as an adjacent use attic or storage. All plumbing will be removed. We've presented the same through site plan review. We will do the same as well with the building department if this is approved. Thank you. With the building department, if this is approved, and the fire department as well, we will obviously be required to get occupancy permits before any occupancy takes place. At this time, the second and third floor are vacant, and they will remain such until the city approves the building permits that were issued and the occupancy permit that we will ultimately seek. As I said, we have been before site plan review. Their ruling is in the file along with photos, and hopefully I can answer any questions that you have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll continue on with the hearing. Are there any proponents? Good evening, Councilor.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. It's off. There we go. Ira Novoselsky, 53 D. Hone Street, Ward 2 Councilor. Gentlemen, I saw this, and I know there's a parking issue, but I know this house. I've seen it all my life, and it was always a two-family house. You know, I know it may be 3 now, and I would hope that it is made only continuous as a 2. You know, I don't mind upgrading because I know there's always been situations where houses are at 1 family in one office and 2 family in another office. And I would think that it's an RB zone for a 2-family, so that's acceptable. And as far as parking, it's been like this forever. I know we always have the extending circumstances all over the city. And I know we've done this before to allow it to be made as a 2. It's already a 2, so you don't have to make it. It's just you are establishing a 2-family home at this location. But I only want to make sure that it's only a 2, because I know parking is difficult in the neighborhood where it's GB across the street and it's RB where they are now. So, I have no problem with the two. And I did hear from some of the neighbors, and they have no problems with it. So as long as it's still a two and they take out that third floor, that may be an apartment up there, we have no objections to it. Thank you.
And you're aware of the commercial space to the left of the home, which is part of
Yes.
the actual parcel, and that is,
Yeah,
will restrict to not...
Actually, that's an apartment now. To the left, that small, I believe it's an apartment now. That's... No.
It's supposed to be a commercial space. It's not supposed to cohabitate.
Okay, because, now you're throwing a curveball at me, so, but as far as I know, there was someone living in that little commercial building that's there.
Okay, well, I'm going to go on with the public hearing, and then we'll answer any questions, or if anybody has any questions, we can go back to that. Are there any other proponents? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. Any opponents? Hearing none, I'll close that side of the hearing. As far as questions, the question was brought to my attention that this was known as Lot 3. It's now being placed at a new Lot A and Lot B. The house, currently, it's 3 units. They will reduce it to 2-family, taking all plumbing out of the 3rd floor. And the abutting Lot A to the left is known as a commercial structure, which I would propose that we would put that they cannot cohabitate there, so there'd be no residential use on that. If the counselor would like to speak on that, being the ward counselor.
If I may, I know it may be labeled as commercial, but now it's an RB, and it has not been used as commercial for decades that I know of. It has not been used as commercial for decades, so I would say that should not be utilized as a commercial space.
So are you stating that, saying that that's been habitated as a residential unit and not a commercial unit?
I've seen people living there, going in and out of there. It has not been used for commercial, and there's a 2-year limitation on that when they abandon a property.
So what is your wish, Counselor?
That not be used as a commercial space. It's RB, they abandon the commercial, it should not be commercial.
And that would then be a 1-bedroom unit based on the size? It wouldn't be a 2-bedroom, I don't believe.
Yeah. I would have to see the layout of what they can do in there. But I don't believe it should be commercial. Would
the attorney representing the applicant please try to answer some of the questions that have been brought up?
It had been used in the past as a residence. I was recently in there. It is vacant right now. My client will accept whichever way the city wishes to go on this, whether it be restricted as residential or commercial. If it is residential, it is a 1-bedroom. It will be you will accept that restriction. But as far as that piece of this goes, whatever the city desires, we're fine with. We will keep it as...
Well, we respect the opinion of the ward council, and the ward council is stating that residential is a 1-bedroom unit. So does anyone else here have any questions concerning this? Okay, so my proposal would be that we put down that this is a 2-family house on Lot B, eliminating all plumbing on the 3rd floor, and removing the current unit that is there. And then on Lot A, that be restricted to residential use of a 1-bedroom unit. Is that correct, Councilor? Okay. Do I have a second on the motion? Seconded by Mr. Corrin. And roll call.
The question now comes on granting the relief requested subject to the conditions articulated by the chairman. Mr. Bacilli? Yes. Yes. Mr. Corrin? Yes. Yes. Mr. D'Angelo? Yes. Yes. Mr. Mazzoni? Yes. Yes. And Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Yes. This is granted subject to the conditions.
Thank you. We're fine with that. Thank you.
No further business. Our next meeting will be at the call of the chair. Thank you.